As a DIY guy, I use all kinds of adhesives including hot glue, but nothing takes the place of my Sugru. Now, if you haven't heard of Sugru by now, it's about time you did. It's soft, easy to shape, and turns into a strong, flexible rubber in 24 hours. So let's organize your small spaces with these Sugru life hacks. I was in my local IKEA store where there's all kinds of cool stuff, including these door handles. Now on the back they have 2 screw holes where you can mount it to a door and they become handles to open and close it. Well, we won't be using them as door handles, as you'll soon find out, but we will be using Sugru, and to make sure things are on the up and up, or the side to side, we'll be using a small level too. I'll be mounting those door handles right here on my wall. For this one, I'll be using the classic white Sugru because it'll blend in good with these brackets. Once inside, we're going to tear off half of this white Sugru and then roll that up into 2 small balls. Then we'll take each of those small balls and put them over the holes in the bracket, and then kind of form it into a cone, which is what you're going to do with a lot of the Sugru projects. Then heading over to the wall with the bracket, I'm going to put the bracket in place, and using my level at the very bottom of the bracket, I'll make sure things are square. Then I'll repeat the same process with the other bracket and over to the wall, where I'm going to put it up just a little bit higher to give it kind of a staggered look, and again using the level to make sure things are straight. And 24 hours later, my shelves are secure, and I can clear off my countertop and put mail up there or any other paperwork that I had hanging around. Thanks, Sugru! I've always wanted to pick up one of these magnetic knife racks, you know, the kind that holds scissors or knives, and they all use screws that require drilling into your wall to hold them up. Well, not in this case. I'll be using Sugru for the job. Popping open my packet of black Sugru, I'm going to tear it in half, and then I'm going to use a third of each half to make a small ball. Then I'll take that small ball and apply it to each of these spacers that came in the knife rack. Those spacers will be pushed down in place inside the knife rack, and then the larger ball will be placed on top of the spacer. Again, we're going to shape it into a nice cone so it adheres well. Then I found a great spot on my kitchen wall where this magnetic knife rack will go. Again, using my level to make sure things are straight, I'll adhere it to the wall. And I'm going to use some blue painter's tape just to hold it in place for the next 24 hours until the Sugru hardens. And the next day, my knife rack was done and it's ready to stock up with knives. So much easier and not as messy as drilling holes. One of my biggest pet peeves about our kitchen is I have so many pots and pans and they're totally unorganized as they're just stuffed under the counter here. And that doesn't even take into account all the individual covers. Something must be done. And it will be with this gray Sugru that I'm going to use. Rolling up a couple of tiny sausage-shaped pieces, I'm going to take them and adhere them to the inside door of my cabinet. And then I'll just bend the ends up a little bit like this. 24 hours later, I've got a place for my very first pot cover. And I'm going to add 2 more to the door here. Now I won't have to dig through the cabinet to look for my covers again. As a DIY guy with so many projects I've done over the years, you can imagine how many small parts I have, screws and nuts and other things, and I keep them in these little jars. Well, I'm running out of places to store these things. Thanks to a little red Sugru, my organizational problem is solved. Removing the tops, I'll take a small ball of Sugru and adhere it to the top, and then press firmly to the bottom of my upper cabinet. And I'll go ahead and do it with a few of these jars that I have. The next day, after the Sugru is hardened, I have a nice little place out of the way for all my little parts. Now for this last one, I'm going to use a small bamboo hoop. This is used for sewing, which I don't do, but I happen to find at the craft store. Unscrewing this little threaded screw, and then the inside bamboo hoop comes out. And this is going to come in handy for this next organizational life hack. And I think I'll go ahead and use some more Snow White Sugru. I picked out an easy access space in our bathroom on the side of the cabinet and attached my ball of Sugru right there. Then I took the bamboo hoop and adhered that to the Sugru. I wrap the edges of the Sugru around the bamboo hoop just for added strength. Then, 24 hours later, my wife's hairdryer hanger is ready to go. So there's 5 really cool ways to organize your life with Sugru. And thanks to the fine folks at Sugru, you can get 10% off your first order by clicking the link in the description. Well, I hope you enjoyed these Sugru life hacks. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.